because I know everybody probably has stuff to do, and
Yeah.
I want to do some updates, but then I want to, you know, anybody that's maybe doesn't know much about what we're doing in the program, I want to just go over some basics of what we're doing and how we're doing it, and then I have some resources, and all these resources, I'll talk about them, but I'm going to send you guys the page with all the links, because some of it's some good stuff that, you know, if you've got a little time and you want some reads on TNR, just a couple articles that really support why high impact TNR, high intensity is so important, and how we can get more people to understand why it's important. I think we're in a much better place with that. So, all right. So,
Oh wait, I think he's in here now.
Oh, Fraley, are you here?
He's jumping on.
So how many people do we have, Candace?
1, 2. There's about 10 of us.
Awesome. Yeah, I know a couple couldn't make it. That's why I wanted to record so we could share.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they could watch it. So.
All right, the man, the myth, the legend, Fraley is on. If he wants to do his 5 minutes real quick.
I apologize for being late. Max, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm living my dreams in San Francisco.
I see that. Except your face is kind of dissolving into the bridge.
Oh, that's because, never mind. I almost said something about my ex-wife. She took that half of me. How's everybody doing? I hope you guys are doing well and enjoying this Zoom call. We've been doing some online learning and some community calls and Zoom calls, and I hope that you guys are enjoying it. I'm not wearing my PJs, even though it's National Wear Your PJs to Work Day today.
Oh, it is?
I didn't know. This is the nicest I've looked since this has happened. I did the opposite.
Yeah, this coronavirus has changed everything that we have done, and I kind of wanted to do a quick update, and then I'll jump off and let Hatch and Kathy kind of do their thing. Zoom calls have become our new norm. I have another one at 11:50 and at 11:30. So this is exciting to be with you guys. We are excited to start TNR back. I just wanted to kind of walk through on our decision on why we decided to stop the TNR process. I understand that some folks kind of had some questions, and it's been a big thing nationally, the conversation about stopping spay and neuter and not seeing spay and neuter as an essential service. The Surgeon General back in February asked clinics, veterinary services to stop services that were not emergency based, such as spay and neuter services for vet clinics, dentists, and you guys kind of are aware that was asked. At first, it became a thing that we were sharing PPEs, the personal protective equipment, with the health services, which is just not the reality in veterinary services. We consider spay and neuter surgeries a dirty surgery, not a clean surgery. So the PPE kind of became a non-factor, and then it became more about the social distancing part. Nationally, the national groups then started, and the universities such as the University of Florida and University of Wisconsin started asking folks in animal welfare to stop the services that encourage social distancing and spay and neuter. So we, as an agency, decided that we wanted to be part of the help. When the Orange County stay-at-home order came about, then it kind of made our decision pretty easy on the shelter and the clinics and the TNR. So that's why we decided that we would halt our community cat program as well as our spay and neuter surgeries. It was done for the purpose of social distancing, as well as what we could do to help folks stay at home to help in this crazy time that we're in. nationally, it's been a point of contention. I was just on a call last night that it was just nuts to call, and it was comical to hear folks folks argue about it. But we took the stand that we were going to do this for about a month and a half to kind of help the curve. But we said that we would, when we restarted, we were going to have a big commitment to community cats. Kathy can share some of the numbers after I step out of what the community cat program has done in Orange County. It's really, for Orange County Animal Services, they have seen a decrease in the animals that are being taken in from the sites, from the zip codes that we are focusing on. So we know it's working. So our commitment is that when we restart our normal operating, which we know normal will not look normal as of May 2nd, we do know that normal will have a different view for a couple of months, that we decided that we were going to focus on community cats for the first couple of weeks to maybe a month, and maybe even longer, that we would come back up with that goal in mind of going after these TNR colonies in those zip codes that we were trying to already attack. And our Alafaya clinic will be a huge part of that, and Kathy will be leading that effort, as well as we're even looking into with services across our shelter and clinics being affected, that we might even shift staff to help Kathy in that endeavor. So I just wanted to jump on and kind of from San Francisco and tell you guys about that piece of why we made the decision. We believe that spay and neuter is essential. We truly believe that. We truly believe that our community cat program is essential. We made the decision that we were going to stop the services to help the curve, but we know that when we come back online, that's the priority. We already figured out the priority of moving animals out of the shelter with our virtual adoptions, and the second piece of it was how do we get TNR back in order, and community cats is probably the second priority for us to kind of get back going. So just wanted to jump on there and just tell you guys we really appreciate it. This is a big piece, and whenever we jump back on in May, we're going to need all the help that we can get. So is there any questions about why we made the decision? I just we saw some comments on Facebook, and I just told both Kathy and Candace that I would jump on and kind of work through that. Any questions that I can help? Besides, I now know how to spell aesthetically. That's good to know. And I also think that Candace should have cats in her office, not dogs. Who else agrees?
I think so too.
Yeah.
They're painting the cat room right now. Otherwise, I would go in there and party.
We'll have to get her one.
I know. I almost borrowed my neighbor's cat and brought it in just to be cool.
I'm going to wake mine up in a minute.
Oh.
Hey, Fraley,
Yeah.
how do you think you'll deal with canvassing as you start this out? Because that's more of the direct contact.
That's a great question. I think on the canvassing side, we probably will start with some of the colonies that are that we know the folks that are already taking care of those colonies, and working through that for the first couple of weeks, and then maybe doing some door-to-door on that 6 feet rule, leaving hangers and trying to avoid the face-to-face as much as possible for the first couple of months.
Yeah, we have actually quite a few locations that I had hit prior that are set up on the calendar, and I had to tell them we had to wait. So I think when we do get going, that we do have plenty of places existing to hit that were ready for us to come. So we definitely have plenty to keep us busy, I think, the first month to catch up, which will be good because we can do some cleanup too, I think, as well.
Also,
you think you'll still focus on the 32822 zip code? That's getting a lot of publicity as the hot spot.
So
Yeah, I mean, we're still rolling 32807 and parts of the 32822, so we definitely want to keep 32807, like the Azalea Park section has actually all been canvassed. So now it's just, we're hitting the top half now of 32807, so we'll be able to hopefully finish that out, you know, here when we get up and rolling. And then 32822 has always been mixed in as well. So yeah, we'll keep focusing on that side for sure.
that is that's another great question. We will not go away from the targeted spay and neuter. I think that is a fear nationally, that when people start back up, that they will start back up and just get loosey on the place, and because of the social distancing and not canvassing and all that good stuff. But we're going to continue to focus on the SIP. We know that it's making a difference, us being targeted. We know the numbers are showing, the data is showing that. So we are going to stay focused on that. Not saying the one-offs don't help, but there's other places and clinics that are helping on those one-offs that are doing a good job. So we're going to continue to focus on that targeted piece.
People have asked me, how is it determined what area to target?
So I'll answer that quickly, and then Kathy, if I mess it up, you can work through it. So what we did is, when we started the program, we took, so while we are owner relinquish shelter, so owners bring their pets to us, we do take stray kittens, basically what we could call it, or kittens without owners. When we started the program, we had about, that year we not maxed out, but we took almost 2,000 kittens in our foster care, between 1,500 to 2,000 kittens. So what we did was, we went across the street to Orange County Animal Services, and we took their data, and we took the highest zip codes of cat nuisance and intakes, and we focus on those. So that's where we took we worked collectively with Orange County on those, on their biggest needs, and that's where we determined those zip codes to be, and that's why we decided to focus on that area, those hotspots. So we have a heat map that the county has made of their hotspots for cats, and that's where we're focusing. For a long time, and this is just for a long time, we did a lot of so in community cats, there's two main important things. Is one is, do we have enough spay or neuter surgeries in the county? And second, are we affecting the intake of the cats that are coming in? Well, we know that there's enough spay and neuter surgeries in the county. Just us alone, we did about 14,000 surgeries. There's Spay and Save, there's Snippet, there's Oviedo. CARE did over 1,000 spay and neuter surgeries, low cost spay and neuter surgeries. So we knew that there was enough low cost spay and neuter surgeries. What we weren't doing was focusing collectively as groups. We weren't focusing on the data, and that's where we took that piece on. Well, I will jump on so you don't have to look at this aesthetically pleasing face anymore.
How do you stay so beautiful? You just look younger every time I see you.
Hey, I have a big birthday next Wednesday, Max.
I had one last Wednesday. Happy birthday.
Oh, we have to sing for everybody then.
Yes. We can virtually go to Vegas if you want together.
I was going to ask, I hope your wife is setting up a casino in your house next Wednesday.
Hey, I am not. I'm pretty sure she is not. I haven't seen her in I don't know how long.
How do you manage that? I have a wife I need to get rid of here.
Hey, she works at a bank right now. I just need the SBA to release more money, and then I won't see her again for a couple of weeks. This is being recorded, isn't it?
Yes.
Oops.
We all have blackmail for free.
Blackmail.
I'm just kidding. Hey, we appreciate all of you guys. I love these webinars. This is a time that we're being creative. If you have any ideas, Chrissy, I know you probably have some ideas. If you have any ideas of what we could do, we're taking them. This is a perfect time to be creative. Like, who would have thought we would be doing virtual adoptions at a shelter? And we done almost over 40 something virtual adoptions since last Tuesday. So who would have thunk it? So any ideas are welcome. I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna jump off. But next Wednesday, Max, we'll go to Vegas together.
Woo!
We just we won't record that virtual meeting.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Virtually.
Bye, guys. Thank y'all.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Fred.
Thank you.
All right, cool. So I'm just going to run through some stats real quick. We actually started, so where did we start? So like Fraley said, they went over to county and pulled data. So we found the zip codes that were hotspots for intake. That's kind of how we started it. And then we organically built out from there because we already had trappers in those zip codes. So that's sort of, if you know Helgrit was already in 32822 and already had contacts rolling. So that's why we decided to start there. And we just kind of built out from there. And then 32807, because those two zip codes butt up against each other, was another hot intake. So that's sort of how we picked those. And their east side, which is where the Alliance clinic is. So it made sense that that's where our focus is. We know the west side is a mess. And yes, they're going to get love in the future when we do build another spay-neuter clinic, which is supposed to happen on the west side, and they will get a program over there. So we're supposed to duplicate Alafaya Clinic on the west side, and then there will be community cats coming out of there. That's why I keep telling people we just can't focus over there because we got enough to deal with on the east side, and that's where we're up and running. And I think I did share in our group that map that we did get from county, because county has a data girl, her name's Kitty, ironically enough. And she puts those data graphs together on so they sent me one from the 32807, 32822 zip codes, and it was showing a decrease in intake to actually prove that yes, our targeted is working. And we know that the targeted does work. We know the one-offs, any TNR cat is a win, but when we truly do this canvassing and targeting, we're impacting a much higher, much faster, and we can knock out these colonies at a higher rate. So that's where the targeting comes into play. So we started November 7th, 2018. We started slow because Alafaya was still getting up and running and getting equipment and all that. But that first year from 2018 to 2019, we did over 1,500 cats. I believe it was 1,545. Starting 2020 up until we had to cut everything off, we've done 460. And of the 460 cats we did 66 pregnant cats, which we all know those started coming a lot more just those last 2 months, like February, March. But the interesting thing enough was the split between male and female was pretty even. So all the cats that we've done this year, we did 239 females and 221 males. So it's still a pretty even split, which I thought was interesting. Because we had a couple male-heavy Fridays that we did. So do we have some new, I've seen some new faces that might not know exactly how we roll. Basically, we run Tuesday through Saturday. So usually Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I'm out in the community with volunteers that can. That's when we do our canvassing. So we canvass neighborhoods. We have door hangers. We're spreading in our target zone. We hit every neighborhood. We'll hit apartment complexes. We hit businesses. We just go up and down the street and no stone is unturned. So everybody gets a door hanger, or if we were able to talk face-to-face to somebody, we tell them about our program, that we come out, we do the trapping, myself and my great volunteers. We do all our surgeries on Friday at the Alafaya Clinic. So we're trying to do 40 cats a week, which we've actually pushed that a couple weeks, which Dr. Keenan will kill me if we keep doing that. But we've done as many as 59 cats on a Friday, and that's a lot for one vet. So, and now we know, because we're focusing female heavy, that we have to be careful because the female surgeries, of course, take longer. Our target zip codes have been 32807, which is Azalea Park, and then butt up against that is the 32822, which runs down Goldenrod, Pershing towards the airport, which will probably push that direction as well. I know we also need to push to the left to Colonial Town and the Milk District. I know that is an area that is in need of some major TNRs, so we'll probably push that direction as well. What's been nice is, even though I'm staying in the target zone with my core volunteers, we have a couple of our other trap groups that have come on board. We have Dawn and Chris with Catapalooza, and they work the Waterford Lakes, Avalon Park area. And then we've got Cattails, we've got Anita, Juanita, Becky, and Blair that are kind of rolling in the 32817 area. That's Union Park. So this is all east side. So it's been nice to sort of have some other target people. They do take door hangers out as well, so they can sort of canvas a little bit as they're, work in the neighborhoods that they're in. But my goal when we get back up, because we are going to try doing a lot of cleanup and really knock out these areas that are waiting, that we've had to put off. So we'll probably be working multiple locations. So I'll need as many hands on deck, basically dropping traps. The more we get these residents to help us do the trapping, that's great. It's not hard to trap. You show somebody how it works. And most of the time, it's easier for them to trap, because when we show up, these cats don't know us and we freak them out. So if we can leave them traps and just show them how it's done, and then I'll tell them, just call me, I'll come pick them up when you got them in the traps. And that's helped move things along too. So we're going to work any and every avenue with as many people as we can to, and like Fraley said, TNR and Dr. Julie Levy, she's with the University of Florida. She's their shelter medicine director. She also runs Operation Catnip in Gainesville, or in Tallahassee. She totally supports TNR being a priority when we get back up and rolling, because we know we're in kitten season. We know trappers are chomping at the bit. We know this is prime time for us to be out there, and especially in Florida, since we're the worst state as far as kitten season goes. So it's very supported that, and like Fraley said, we're probably going to hit TNR first when we get up and rolling. So we're going to get spoiled and get to do probably multiple days, which might be the plan. So it might just be 3 to 4 days of just a week of just TNR. So we'll be busy. So everybody be ready. So we could be trapping multiple days, which would be great. And I do have a couple locations. I had a woman reach out that manages a couple apartment complexes and needs some help. So we might be hitting some of those and doing some mass trappings at some of these complexes. So all that will be shared. So I said Tuesday, Wednesday, we're usually canvassing. Then Thursday is our trap day. We normally trap between 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Now with the time change, we know it's getting darker later. So it just kind of depends on when the cats are coming. Sometimes we can do morning traps. If the cats are more so coming in the morning, we want to trap when the cats are there. So I've been known to trap in the morning and then go back out and trap in the evening to try to get as many as we can get. But we really want to start cleaning up some of these colonies and getting them done. Friday is our surgery day, so all the cats are already delivered. Some of the groups and trappers do deliver Friday morning to clinic. I drop all mine Thursday nights, so they're already there, ready and waiting when clinic staff walks in Friday morning. They usually get started by 8 a.m. and then pickups. My cats, all our cats for our returns stay overnight at the clinic, which has been very helpful for us to do that. And then Saturday morning, myself and my core volunteers, we load up the cats, we clean the clinic, get it ready for their Saturday, because they do vaccines on Saturdays at Alafaya. And then we go and do all our return to field. So all the cats get returned back to their locations, and we do give the feeders or caretakers their paperwork. So they are getting the spay neuters, or, paperwork that shows if someone's giving them a problem in their neighborhood, they've got the documentation to say, look, my cats have been spayed, neutered, vaccinated, ear tipped, because we really need to push that vaccination part of it. The public safety issue is always how we sell this. When we're telling people, hey, these cats are getting vaccinated, so they're much safer in the community the way they are. Plus, spay and neutering, we know, cuts down on all the nuisance behaviors. That's important when we're explaining this to people and trying to get them on board to understand. This is going to cut down on all those behaviors that people don't like, and especially the males that are going around spraying everywhere and doing all the fighting. All of that goes away when we do these spay neuters. So it's so beneficial. But it's long term. We have to tell people it's not a quick fix. These colonies take time. They're going to die out over time, and cats still live a pretty good life out there, even though it is going to be shorter compared to our inside cats. But people have to understand that it is a long-term solution. But in the long run, they will see the effects of it. Does anybody have questions on just how we basically roll the program? No? Okay. So resources. I'm going to share, and as I said, I'll share these links with you, but two of them are articles. One is from the Veterinary Science. It's a publication about cumulative impacts of free-roaming cat management, strategy and intensity on preventable cat mortalities, because we know those kittens have the highest mortality rate. All these kittens getting born out there. That's why we started our program. We have to stop all these unwanted kittens, because we know most of the kittens out there don't survive. So they have the highest mortality rate. So it's a good article, and Dr. Levy from Florida, she is on this as well. There's another one I'll share from ASPCA. They have a high intensity TNR, could mean over 30 times fewer cat deaths. So just more support. Both of these came out last year, so just supporting the fact that high impact TNR really improves the lives of cats, and it really does work. Another, if you've not checked this out, it's called the Community Cat Podcast. It's a website. Community Cat Podcast. They have a lot of great speakers. They do podcasts, all community cat related. So they talk to feeders, vets. It's a little bit of everything, but all community cat related. And it's really good stuff. If you now take some time to do some listening and watching some webinars, stuff like that. Another one that I've been getting emails is the Animal Welfare Daily Digest. You can subscribe to that. And it's just, with the whole COVID-19 issue, it really is putting out all the information about how shelters are handling this and how we're going to deal with what things are going to look like as we move forward. But it's got great information on shelters doing the social distancing, and it does constant updates. So it's a good way to just kind of be in the loop and know what's going on in the sheltering world. We always need to share our Orange County and CARE websites. People don't really know that Orange County actually has a TNR program, even though it's not the best success, but it's something. And it's something for those people with 1 to 5 cats. Because when we started our program, Pet Alliance was focused on doing the high impact, the 30+ colonies. So these people that only have 1 or 2 cats, you know, if we're in that neighborhood in our target zone, we're going to absorb them. But if somebody calls me from a completely different zip code and says they have 1 cat hanging around, I'm not going all the way over there to deal with their 1 cat. They can call county and go through that, or they can reach out to CARE and get all the resources off CARE's website, because CARE rents out traps to people. So we need to empower people to do the work, because a lot of them will. And that way we're not spreading ourselves thin, driving ourselves crazy and running around like mad people when we can empower the public. I think that's really a big part of how we need to push forward, and not answer all these help calls on Facebook, because it's taking us away from where we need to be. We need to stay targeted. We need to keep our high impact going, because we're going to be more successful that way. We know everybody needs help, but sometimes they just need resources. So we need to help be that resource and say, hey, here's the website. Here's how you make the appointments. Let people do some things themselves, because they can, and we need to focus our efforts where we are most needed. Assistance. So we know in this time of need, everybody's looking for some help. So there is redrover.org. Their website does do some financial assistance for vet care. There's also the Pet Fund. They have a website for some financial assistance. And I'm also going to share the HSUS, Humane Society of the United States. Their website has a whole financial assistance resource page. So I'll share that. Everybody's looking for either food or, you know, vet care or something to that extent. So there's a lot of resources on those sites. So I'm going to share that with all of you. And I think the main thing is, you know, we share with everybody, because everybody needs help. I did a webinar yesterday, and Kitten Lady was on it, Hannah Shaw. She is starting a free webinar series this Saturday, mainly for anybody fostering kittens. So we know Kitten Lady is everything all kitten. So if you're fostering, she's starting a free webinar series. It starts this Saturday, 11. You go to her website, kittenlady.org/webinar, and you can register for any of those free webinars. And it's going to be everything about how to take care of kittens. So if you've never done it, or if you know people that need those resources, check out her website. And she wants us to share. She has videos about how to do all that kitten stuff. Share. She says, please use them, because people ask if it's okay to use her stuff. She wants you to share.
Kathy, you've got about 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
Okay. So just, you guys, what feedback do you have, or thoughts, how we get rolling? Any funny stories, success stories? What do you want to share, or questions?
Well, I've been to some Zoom classes actually from the Zoom website, and they've all said that they don't cut you off after the time is up.
Okay, well, that's good.
Hopefully it won't. It cut me off the other day, so maybe this one won't.
Really? Maybe.
Well, and you can always email me questions, and I'll answer whatever questions you have, and we'll share that with everybody.
Will you be those links, the cumulative impact and the ASPCA, will you be putting those links in an email?
Yeah, I'll share that with everybody. Yeah, I'll put it in the group, but I can also share it with Candace, and she can put it out as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we can do it on a document and share it that way, whatever's easiest. Anybody else?
Kathy, so if I have volunteers, if I give a shout out to volunteers, if they want to help, should I just give them your email address and then you'll send them what they need to get started?
Basically, getting people on board in the program, it's as easy as going to, I do the TNR boot camps. I either have been doing them at the Alafaya Clinic, or I do them out in the library branches. Unfortunately, right now, the library is not rolling, but when that gets back up and running, I always post those. I put them on the volunteer Facebook pages, and then I put them out in some of the major cat groups. So, and I usually attach a Google form so they can sign up, but that's the best way to get involved is just come to a boot camp and then you're flagged for community cats or for Candace if they go through a regular orientation open house, then you can flag them to me. Once they come to a boot camp, then pretty much they're good to go. So, and they can choose what they want to do. I'm flexible with everybody. If all you can give me is an hour, I take an hour. So you can do as much or, if you just want to trap, you can just trap. It's whatever you want to do.
Okay. So they will need to go through the boot camp and all of that when you starting up in May. If they haven't done that yet, they'll still have to go through all of that.
Yeah. It's good for them to do a boot camp because we go through everything, and I bring a trap and a drop trap and show them how it works. And I'm going to do that next week. Candace is going to help me. We're going to do a live. I'm going to show how a box trap and the drop traps work. So we'll post that.
Yep. All right, Kathy, show us your kitties.
I was going to play my song. All right, let me get my kids.
Wake up, kitties. My dogs are asleep.
Again.
Yeah, mine are too.
And meanwhile, the kitten at Laurel's house is going crazy.
I know this is the calmest he's been. He's actually scared. This is his first Zoom meeting.
Kathy's jamming. Oh, there's Kathy's cat.
Leonidas.
Who? Which one is that?
This is Leonidas. He's a county boy. She's my Abyssinian county.
Oh.